All right, we are back up again. We are live. We are going to be covering the local elections here in Washington State. I'm going to be joined by my good friend Zena Wenzek, and we have a candidate who's going to be coming in, Gwendy Gabeline. I think I said that right. She was on here a while ago, and they are going to be joining us. We're going to be going over her race in South Woodby, and we're going to be following the other races here in Washington State. The polls close in about 9 minutes, and we will be ready for that. So I will be sending the link. Let's see here to get people on. And here we go. All right. And we are going to start with our little countdown. So bear with me. All right. Thank you, everybody, for coming again. So, a lot of results out today. We have the Virginia race. The Democrats pulled the trifecta. They won the governor, lieutenant governor, and attorney general, which was a closer race, but that one surprised me. So, Jay Jones had been caught in a text scandal where he had fantasized about shooting the House Speaker and killing his children and urinating on their graves. And that was not a deal breaker for Virginia voters. So that is interesting to me. So apparently that's just how we talk to each other. That's a scary place for America to be. That's a scary place for us to be. Zoran Mamdani is elected the mayor of New York City. So good luck, guys. You know, I mean, everybody was all these people who think they were excited that he got elected. I guarantee you're going to be less excited in a month. Definitely in 6 months. And let's see here. We have polls closing in 7 minutes here in Washington State, and then we're going to cover the local elections. Also, New Jersey, the Democrat Mikey Sherrill, she has won. So we have that done. So when the polls close here in 6 minutes, we're going to be covering local Washington State races, of which there aren't too many. Ones of a serious nature. So, yeah, we're going to be focusing on Oak Harbor's race for city council. We're going to be focusing on the mayor of Stanwood. There's a local race here in the Stanwood Camano School District as well. We'll report on that. I need a little more information on that. That was a pretty quiet race. I didn't see a whole lot of campaigning from either one. And then we are going to have some coverage with the South Woodby School District, Position 5. And we are actually going to have one of the candidates, Gwendy Gabeline, on with us very soon. So, bear with us. Let's see here. I'm going to pull up election results for Washington State real quick. Oh, that's the PDC. I need election results. Yep. There we go. That's the one. All right, everything is pulled up. We have everything we need to get started. Now, just waiting on the guests, which should be here in 4 minutes. Wow. All right, here we go. Okay, we have our guests on. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Wendy, thank you so much for coming on. How do you feel?
Good. Yeah.
All right. Well, we're gonna see in about. Well, I'd like us to see in 2 minutes. We're probably gonna see in about 15, 20 minutes. So, but yeah, no. So you feeling excited? You ran a pretty incredible campaign. So it was definitely a lot cleaner than the campaigns of the past against the incumbents in South Woodby. So you should be proud of that at least.
I'm very proud of the support I got in my campaign to make that possible. So I have a lot of people to thank for that.
You sound like a politician.
There you go. And that was such a good political pivot. You are learning very quickly how to do this. So, no. So, Stina, thank you for coming on. So, real quick, while we're waiting for Washington results, let me talk to you about the rest of the world.
Okay.
So, we have elected in Virginia, the Democrats swept, including Jay Jones for Attorney General, who fantasized about killing children. Apparently, that wasn't a deal breaker for some voters.
Wow.
New Jersey went the way New Jersey always goes. No surprise there. And then New York City elected an open socialist.
I heard about that.
So interesting stuff, huh?
Doesn't look too good.
No, I mean, I probably don't want to move to New York anytime soon. So
Yeah, that's crazy.
What's really crazy is he's 34 years old. He's never had a job. And he lived with his mom.
So, Gwendy, you have a chance. You have a chance.
I just need to move to New York.
So if that guy can take New York, Gwendy, you can take the school board.
Yikes. That's quite the comparison. I don't know.
Geez. Just interesting times we live in. I feel like the bar has dropped so low. I don't even know what people like anymore. That's in New York, though. Wendy, your bar is very high bar, tremendous bar. So
You're not making me nervous at all, just so you know.
all right. So tell me, how did the campaign go? Stina, from your point of view, the campaign for and the polls closed a minute ago. So let me see if we got something. But in your words, how do you feel the campaign went as a supporter?
Oh, go ahead.
Are you asking me or Gwendy?
Yeah, I said Stina. I'm gonna ask Weena.
Okay. Well, I have to say that I'm very impressed with Gwendy. She's a lot less emotional and reactive than me. So she's taught me a lot about. I told her earlier, I'm like, you're like a penguin. You just let the water roll off of you and you just move on to the next thing, where I'm like fired up. Like, I can't believe it's been rough. I have to say. I mean, Gwendy's done an amazing job on just, she is a very independent, politically independent person, and I don't really know anyone in my life that is truly independent, and I would say Gwendy really is. And so it's been interesting because I'm obviously more conservative, but yeah, it's been, she's ran a really clean campaign. She has not said one negative word against her opponent, even when I've wanted her to say something to call her out. She's decided not to, and I hope that the community can see that this is not about politics. School boards should not be about politics. They should be about education. They should be about children. They should not be about left versus right or any of that. I think if students know where you stand politically as a school board member, then you're doing something wrong. So that is the one area I feel like we're all taxpayers. We all pay our taxes. All of our children go there. They should all feel welcome. They shouldn't feel like, their leaders or their teachers or their school board members are pushing some kind of political agenda on them. So I think Gwendy is the perfect candidate, because she truly does embody what a school board member should be, which is nonpartisan. So yeah, but there's been a lot of attacks from the other side, a lot of, honestly, just flat out lies. I mean, kind of unbelievable. Just, yeah. And it's pretty ballsy to just come out as a school board member and lie about somebody in the community. It's been a little bit mind-blowing. We had sort of a similar situation in 2021, but this is different because it just feels darker. I don't know. It's just been really eye-opening for me, but yeah.
All right. So, Gwendy, you have been the subject of many, many, many attacks on the website of your opponent. In fact, her entire website is dedicated to attacking you. It doesn't even tell us so much of what she wants to do, as it just tells us that you are the Wicked Witch of the West. So, are you the Wicked Witch of the West, and are you going to melt if we put water on you?
I live in Washington, so I would have melted a long time ago if that was the case. But I kind of felt like Saturday Night Live writers, because I really didn't have to do any really think tank stuff. I just responded to the allegations and just the crazy, ludicrous things that was said. When I first got wind that Anne had put something on her website to basically say, this is how I feel and this is how my opponent feels. Mm-hmm. I was like, gosh, I'm kind of busy, but I don't remember having that conversation. So I didn't know where she got her information. And some of them, like that I was against, the whole book ban concept. Like, my mom was a librarian, so no, like that's just ludicrous. And then the comprehension sex ed, like that I'm against that. And like, you do realize I work in public health, right? Like, I have conversations about the whole STDs and being precautious and all that. And so I'm like, they were so opposite that it was kind of shocking. but it made my job a little bit easier because then it was just like, okay, guys, let's come back down to earth for a second.
Right.
I work in community health. I have no problem with this. I went to the parent night where you could ask the questions and look over the curriculum on the comprehension sex ed. I had no issues with that. And what the district is doing really well right now is they're having that conversation with the parents ahead of time, letting them know that conversation is going to happen and when. So when their student comes home, they can prompt the kid, have the conversation. What did you think about this? Do you have any more questions? Because then you can kind of curtail it around the values of your family. So I have nothing to complain about on that. Now, if that changes, because I know there's some discussion about less information to parents and parents being less at the table, which is kind of concerning. But currently, yeah, I don't have an issue with that. But as we've seen just in the last year or two, things are continuously evolving. So that's kind of one of my biggest push from the beginning is just getting people at the table, inviting people to the meetings so that they are knowledgeable, they get the information firsthand, not off Facebook or any other social media. So they're aware of what's happening in their kids' classroom and in the culture in their districts and the decisions that are being made that affect their students and their academics. So that, if nothing else, hopefully more people will start coming to the meetings and be more aware and take a more active role in their kids' education. So
no, I think that'd be good no matter what happens. Yeah, no. So I'm going to ask you two questions. If things go exactly the way you're hoping tonight, how big is the celebration going to be? One, and two, when what are you going to do when you first get there?
Oh boy. No, I just look forward to getting some rest, actually. That'll be the way I celebrate. I'm really boring. But, I honestly think it wasn't just me doing all the work. And I'm not saying that to be, disrespectful. Like, honestly, there's been a lot of people, Stina included, that have done a lot of work. So I think the first thing we just all need to do is take a breath and kind of catch up on some of our sleep. And then moving forward, I really look forward to sitting down at the table with the other board members because there is a lot of work that we need to do. We need to kind of put aside some of our biases, opinions, comments. Maybe some of our behaviors need to be addressed, but I think we can work together. I think it's possible. And we've got a lot of things to address in our district that we've just kind of, we're similar to the other districts. We're good, check boxes kind of attitude. We're where everyone else is, so that we don't really need to be concerned about academic scores or improving anything. I think we can constantly be improving things. I think one comment I was very disappointed to hear one of the other board members say at one of our town hall meetings was, I believe we had already addressed those topics. And to me, that says we're as good as we're going to get on that topic. And I think a lot of topics when it comes to things in the school are continuously needing to be readdressed and reviewed and see, okay, how are we doing? Can we improve? And what does that look like moving forward? When we think we've got it all figured out, we've got a problem. So,
I'm going to ask you one question. One thing that I remember from a while back, I don't know if it's still the case, but they never stood for the Pledge of Allegiance at the school board meetings in South Whidbey. Has that changed, or are they still not doing it?
No, that is one of the things I brought up with some of the other board members after and before meetings, and they're pretty happy with the fact that they do the land acknowledgement.
I'm sorry, what is the land acknowledgement?
The land acknowledgement is basically a recognition of the land that we're on today and the people that came before us, in a sense, that found the land, which I think is important that our students have that knowledge of that history. I mean, we live in the Pacific Northwest. And so I think that's definitely an important element. But when it was last discussed, I brought up, okay, so if we're going to talk about the land acknowledgement, we should also be talking about the flag, the Pledge of Allegiance. and not from a political standpoint. I have family members that served, and to me, that is not political. That is a sacrifice.
Yeah.
We are able to sit in
We
the
also have a lot of Native Americans who have died serving this country.
Yeah.
I don't know if they care, but that is a historical fact. I don't know if they ever heard of the Code Talkers in World War I or World War II. I'm sorry. Yeah. All right. So will you try to address that if you get in?
Yeah, I would like to have that conversation. I know last time it didn't end well. There was a lot of, I guess, negative energy that the board felt directed at them. And so therefore they shut down that conversation. So I think we need to revisit that conversation in a respectful manner, because I think it's important that our students see us model the respect for the flag, not in the sense of, we repeat these same words that have no meaning, but that we show respect to the flag because of what that flag stands for. So it's a personal thing for me. So, yeah.
All right. Well, I am looking at the results and there is still nothing. Are you gonna stop doing what you're doing if, God forbid, it doesn't go the way we want?
No. I plan on continuing to attend those meetings. We still have a lot of work to do, whether I'm sitting in the chair in the audience or I'm sitting at the table. It still takes public input, and I'm just one person that's giving the input. So I'm hoping other people will join me in that.
Well, there you go. Well, I'm excited. So we are 12 minutes past polls closing, and there can't be that many votes to count. I mean, this is definitely a smaller turnout than the last election.
So, Richard, how does it actually work? Are they counting it before 8 o'clock, or they just start counting it right at 8 o'clock?
So when they get them, they actually start the count, but they can't release any results until 8 o'clock.
Okay.
Some of the counting was done. They're doing some counting now. And then, of course, more ballots are coming in. And the ones that are in the mail will come in a couple days from now. And they'll be counted later. So I think what takes time is they need to take those tallied results that they have in the auditor's office, and then they need to deliver it to the Washington State Secretary of State's office. That's when the results get publicized. And that's what takes time. I'm not sure why it takes so much time. Honestly, I've been a little bit disappointed in the auditor's office the last year or two for multiple reasons. But, I feel like they should be kind of ready with something within 10 minutes.
It might be. It actually. Are you sure it's not 8:30? Because when I looked it up, it said one time it said 8 and one time it said 8:30.
Actually, you know what? Let me look at that.
So far, it's only 10 counties have reported numbers so far. I see, and we're not one of them.
Election results reports. Yeah, and Snohomish County hasn't reported any either. So I guess I can't bag too hard on Island. And it's entirely possible it could drop at 8:30. Maybe they just wanted to set that expectation, but
they
polls close at 8.
Well, I have a question. I have a question for Gwendy. What would you say is the greatest lesson you've learned running for this position and like running a campaign? Or what do you think is the most? Yeah.
My biggest takeaway. Well, coming into this election, I kind of was anticipating kind of a redo of the last one when Farah and them ran. And I thought, okay, my goal was to hopefully run a campaign to show that it was somewhat civil, right? That it was somewhat balanced. I'm not going to use the word balance with this one. Sorry. Omit that word. In the sense that hopefully we would get other people to step up and run. So that was my hope. So my takeaway, it is possible. It is possible to do a campaign where it's not just complete mudslinging. I wouldn't say I had a lot of aha moments, but I mean, we got human behavior at its finest. But I was happy to see that it was able to be done. So
Yeah.
civilly, at least somewhat.
So let me ask you guys this question: what was the hardest part of this campaign?
Hmm.
That's to both of you.
I can speak as a redhead, bite my tongue. There were many moments, and Stina and I would chat on the phone, and we were like, "Oh my gosh, can you believe this?" And you almost kind of just had to take a few deep breaths, right, and then go, "Okay, like this is human behavior. It really shouldn't shock us." And then just, okay, how are we going to move forward on this? I think that was a moment, because I mean the redhead did come out a little bit sometimes, but that was usually kind of me circling my living room, and then it was like, okay, how do we want to address this moving forward, civilly and calmly.
Yeah.
So I ran for treasurer unsuccessfully a while back, and the hardest part I think for me was very similar to what you just said. It was one of the things is that there's people that now hate you who don't even know you. Dude, I'm running for treasurer.
Yeah.
I'm not going to change your world. It wasn't as bad for my race as others, but it happened, and I'm just like, bro, like, chill. I want to invest here instead of here. That's it.
Right.
So,
what
were
about
you saying, Stina?
I think the hardest part for me is feeling like personally, just balancing family and work and everything else you have going on, and feeling like we could always I was like always thinking, could we be doing more? Like, what are some good strategies? How do we reach the community more? How do we do more? How do we I guess my mind just never really stopped. So I'm kind of with Gwendy of like, I'm ready to take a breath. I'm ready to like go on vacation and lay on the beach and have a margarita kind of thing. Cause I get really focused. I've been really, really focused and kind of like a bulldog with a bone in my mouth. Like, just, I have a hard time stopping. I have a hard time turning it off. And I think really trying to, like, for me, conveying the truth to the community and the truth about who Gwendy is. It's really hard. It's really hard for me when there's an injustice. That's one of my biggest, like, injustice, and feeling like there's an injustice done to Gwendy, because I actually didn't really even know Gwendy before this campaign. Like, never really know. I knew of her, but we didn't know each other. But getting to know her it's like, it's really hard for me to see someone trash someone that is actually a really good person and lie about them. And so I get really fired up and really defensive about that. So I think that was really hard, like trying to defend someone that didn't deserve what she got. It didn't have to be that way. It could have just been, it could have just been a normal campaign between because the board knows Gwendy very well. Like she said, she's gone to almost every school board meeting in the last, 9-10 years, unless she's sick or something comes up. But most of the time she's the only one in the audience, and they know her dedication. They know she's not mega. They know she's not all these things. And so to just see that happening to someone that didn't deserve it, and feeling like I needed to defend that, it felt like a real battle, like a real battle for justice, kind of, which I realize I need to chill out sometimes too, because they're doing it for political reasons, and they know who she really is. They're just trying to win an election. Yeah.
It's sometimes hard. I tried to stay chill, and what's crazy is I actually stayed very chill throughout my entire race. I think me and my opponent were actually very, very nice to each other. It was the next race for mayor of Oak Harbor that I lost my chill. That was an ugly race, let me tell you. That one was nasty. Like, just being close to it was stressful.
That
Yeah.
was one thing
They
that
didn't like each other.
I mean, I've been on many boards and committees, and like I said before, there's many people I was on boards with that I wouldn't even want them to babysit my goldfish, let alone my child.
Mm-hmm.
But you gotta be
Yeah.
able to separate yourself from the person on the board that you don't necessarily agree with how they voted on something or feel, because that's the same person that you're going to see at the grocery store. That's the same person you're going to see at a sports event. So you got to be able to have the ability to still see them as a person, respect them as a person. I mean, I can remember when I would see some of the board members prior to this election out at, different places, the grocery store, what have you, and they would just look at me like, they didn't know. It was like they froze, and I'd be like, "Hi, good to see you." I mean, because they're still humans. They still, they still have a family. They still have a job. They're still part of our community.
Yeah.
But I learned very early on in the election that some of the board members don't have that capacity, and they would, they just don't, which is kind of sad. In all the boards I've been on, we might debate over something or go back and forth on what direction we're going to go. And then as soon as the meeting's over, we go out for coffee. We ask how the kids are doing and what we're doing. That's what you got to be able to do when you're on a board. You got to be able to separate the business from the person that's your neighbor and your community member. And you got to be able to show respect and decency to them. That was kind of sad to see that was not always the case.
Yeah. So let's see here. Snohomish County, nothing. Island County.
My husband has a computer right next to me, so we're we're doing the same thing.
He's like he's like refreshing it, I bet, every 5 seconds.
Yes, he is.
The reason I don't like this waiting is because it feeds into paranoia where people are like, "Oh, they're cooking the books. They're cooking the books. That's what's taking so long." And it's not what's happening. I don't think.
Yeah.
What's happening is, they're just taking their sweet time getting it over to the Secretary of State's office. But we would have less of that if we would just get something out there. Get something out there.
Yeah. Well, I did read that it could take until 9:00 to see anything. So.
Oh my God!
I don't know.
It better not.
I know.
They have till 8:30, and then I'm filing a complaint.
Whose house are you gonna stand on their porch and be like, "It's 9:00"?
Oh well, I'm not going to do that to this current auditor, Sheila Kreider, because she'll have me put in jail for 16 counts of fake.
I was being humorous.
Yeah. No, she is not afraid to put people in jail for annoying her. So,
or for not wearing masks.
Right. Yeah. Nope. That's annoying. Go to jail. Do not pass go. We're going to make it a felony.
That actually happened.
I'm good. I will write a letter that's very polite.
Okay, you guys. So we have some results. Are you able to see it on your end?
Let me see.
I can't see it.
It's early. We're on the state site. Not
okay. Let me go to the state site. What's the state site say?
Currently, Ann Johnson has 3168 votes, and I have 1667 votes. So 65.43 and 34.43.
Yeah, that's kind of consistent with what we saw.
Yeah, it was 70-30 in the last one.
Yeah. So you're doing better.
Wow.
But yeah, no, that's strange. So yeah, it looks like it got to the state, but they didn't update the county. So I don't know why they.
They have 1,800 more to count.
But we do have 1,800 more votes to count.
Yep. So I expect it'll tighten it up. It usually tightens up towards the end. But you know what? You ran an incredible race. So no matter how this goes, I don't think you should be done, because this was done very well, and you got a significant 5 percentage points is not a small bump. That is a real bump from what happened last time. That means a bunch of Democrats who were told that you're a MAGA Republican voted for you.
Well, the other thing to
So-
keep in mind, and I think this is a really big thing, is Ann Johnson got a bunch of Democrat endorsements. She got, what's his name, Chris Reichdahl or whatever. And
Mhm.
so I think people don't even know Ann, but if they're a Democrat, they just look at who endorsed this person. I'll vote for them, you know? I think that's so they don't actually look into who each candidate is, you know?
You know what we did? You probably should have done. You should have called Joe Biden and asked for his endorsement. He probably would have given it to you because he wouldn't know what's going on. But no, that's all right. I would not let this. I expect it's going to tighten up, and I think you ran a pretty phenomenal race. Now that
Well, we
kinda
also have
shows
to
us-
remember that most conservatives vote late, and I know a lot of people vote today, you know, so we'll see what happens. But
and some of those ballots that they're predicting, they don't have them all. Some of them got sent in the mail today. They will arrive in 4 or 5 days. So
That is true.
that's why it takes about a week for us to get like the real number, sometimes 2 weeks to get the real number. But you again clearly did significantly better than last time. What was it? Was 71-29 in one case?
Yeah, it was low 30s.
Yeah. Yeah, they got cooked. It was rough.
They
An
got,
improvement has been made.
and that race was a lot uglier. That they did mudslinging from the beginning. I think when Marnie put in that first letter to the editor calling me a Trojan horse, I think she was anticipating the mudslinging was going to start at that moment, and yeah,
And you avoided it, which was wise. So, all right, now I'm seeing numbers. Here we go. Let me see here.
I'm looking it up too.
Scrolling.
we're all staring at our computers.
I know, right? We look ridiculous, people. All right, let's see here. Geez, there's a lot of people. Why are you showing it if the person's unopposed? We know they won. Put them at the bottom.
Yeah, Gwendy's towards the bottom.
And those will probably be the only results that we see tonight. So yeah, 65-35. Yeah, that's those are the results we're going to see tonight. It'll update again at probably 5 p.m. tomorrow. And I expect that to tighten up.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Sorry if I'm going too fast.
Oh, good.
Let's see if we've got
So
any
how many
other.
people, I'm not there yet. How many people voted for the school board election? Any idea?
So for the most voted in was the one that was competitive, which makes sense. And 4,835 so far. There was 361 undervotes, which meant 361 people decided not to vote in this election that voted. I'll never understand that. And one
Wait,
overvote.
so they went down the ballot and decided not to vote for the school board?
Yep. And
Interesting.
like if you look at Andrea Downs, her undervotes are 2,068. So like 2,068 people didn't even vote for her, and she was unopposed.
Well, I didn't vote for her because she was unopposed, so she already won.
Oh, well, yeah. But yeah, so 361 undervotes, one overvote, which means somebody voted for both of you. So that one's thrown out.
I'm still undecided.
Let's see here. What else do we have? We also have. Oh, Sandy Peterson just dominated. She will be.
Really? Wow.
She will be the position 6 Oak Harbor City Councilwoman. Congratulations to Sandy Peterson. Very happy for her. She was on this show too. With 76.91%
Nice.
of the cast votes, 1,216 to 365 votes. That
Yeah.
is total domination right there. And I think part of that was because she put her information in the voters pamphlet and her opponent did not.
Yeah, that's not a good move.
She also raised $12,000 or $13,000 and actually sent out mailers to all the voters, and her opponent did not. So you probably could have predicted that one. But congratulations to Sandy Peterson. I think we can go ahead and call that one. Let's see here. Let's see if Snohomish is reporting anything. Come on, Snohomish. Man, Snohomish is later than we are. All right, Sheila Kreiders is off the hook. But anyway, so there's still a lot of work to do in the South Whitby School District. They seem to have a lock of protection with each other because they can pull these Democrat endorsements and they have a teachers union that backs them. How do we break that? Like, even in areas that Republicans are heavy,
Yeah.
we have very, very far left school board members because they've dominated that area.
Well, I think it was very telling after the first debate with the old goats. A lot of Ann's responses were very shocking to the people in the room, but they weren't. It wasn't a shock to me because this is what they say at all the board meetings. The only difference is there's usually typically me, one other gentleman, and maybe a few people online. So I'm hoping this encourages people to come and be, part of this conversation. Because I think if they were to see the day in and day out behaviors in their discussions and such, there may have been a change in some of the votes. I think that was very telling. I mean, I kind of just watched the faces of the people in that room, and this wasn't a new thing for her to say for me because I've heard it, but it was to them. And I think that's the biggest thing. People vote the party they choose per the party, but they didn't actually pick the person because they don't come and hear what the person says or does at these meetings. So to me, that speaks more of the lack of knowledge and awareness that we're dealing with. And at no fault to any individual. It's just I encourage them to get more involved.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that I think is all the results we're going to get from Island County tonight. We are going to keep an eye on it. I do think it is going to tighten up. So usually the later votes, as Stina said, are the Republicans. And I don't think you lost them. So I don't think they came out in big numbers for Ann Johnson. I could be wrong. Maybe there was just something about her policy positions they did like, but I don't think so. So I expect that will tighten up.
Yeah.
And still nothing on Snohomish. Come on, guys. We're the worst. Basically, what I'm waiting for is there's a school board race here that isn't very interesting. None of them. It's one of those vanilla races where everyone's just like, I don't care. Not saying anything negative about either one of the candidates. It's just that nothing was put out. And then, of course, we have a mayor's race in Stanwood, and that is competitive. So that's basically what we're keeping our eye on. That's close to us. Here in Camino, anyway. In Woodby, you guys don't care. But let's see. I think we should talk again. And we should definitely talk about your future. Maybe this was a blessing in disguise. And I'll tell you what, if it doesn't go the way you want, I lost my election, and I was pretty upset, by the way. I really was not happy. I told Stina I was fine, but I wasn't. I was super mad.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
I found out a month later that my son had cancer.
Oh,
And then I realized I would have had to resign. If I had gotten elected, I would have had to resign right away.
mhm.
I would not have had time for the job. I had to spend so much time in Seattle Children's. Happy story. He's in remission. It's all gone now.
Good.
But it was pretty freaky then. And you know, these things happen. So maybe you were intended for a higher office.
Yeah, a couple people have said, you should run for county commissioner. I had someone just a couple days. He dropped off a donation, and he's like, I think you'd be great running for county commissioner.
I think you would. I think you would. I don't think Melanie Bacon's running again.
I heard that I don't know if many of the current county commissioners are planning on running again. So
Yeah, no. Janet St. Clair is not. Melanie Bacon, I don't think is. Now, of course, these plans can change.
mhm.
But as of from what I'm hearing right now, Melanie Bacon is not running again, which means it's an open seat and therefore fair game.
Mhm.
And I don't think that Jill Johnson is going to run again. She may, but I don't think she's going to run again either. So I think all three of them are going to be open relatively shortly here. In fact, we've got one coming up, number 3. And I'm not hearing too many big names that are considering it. So
Yeah, well, my priority will still be the school. So as long as I can make those meetings, I would consider it. But as long as I can make the school meetings, I would consider it, because that is definitely my focus, at least for the next 4 years when my kiddo's in there. So
yeah, well, I mean, Zoran Mamdani just got elected mayor of New York, and I guarantee you he's going to do whatever the heck he wants and just take the paycheck. He's 34 years old. He's never had a job before. Okay, so you can do whatever you want. Yeah, no, it is. I think you might fit in very well in the commissioner role. And by the way, that one pays significantly more. So, the
Yeah.
school board is a thankless job. I praise anyone who does it. But you get a lot of grief for not so much, payment
mhm.
or no payment.
Yeah. Right.
So
Well, I get that
Let
grief
me-
just for attending the
So
meetings.
when do we get another update? Tomorrow?
tomorrow should be at 5 or 6. Allison Johnson says you and Stina ran a stellar campaign. Thank you, Allison.
Thank you, Allison, for your support.
And you did, because you peeled away a good chunk of voters. This is not the blowout that we saw last time. So whatever you guys did, that's a better way of doing it than last time.
Well,
So,
I'd like to say the thing we did differently is we ran a respectful campaign.
mhm.
So I think I proved it can be done. I mean, the last week or two, it's gotten a little mucky, if you will. But I tried to stay focused on the issues and not respond to the personal attacks and the unfounded accusations that they kept throwing in my direction, to kind of take the focus away from the real issues. So that was kind of my goal.
Well, I am very excited about your future. I think your future looks pretty bright in this county, and I think maybe you could do more as a commissioner. Honestly, how many school board votes are there? 7, or is it 5?
Seats 5.
So
5.
there's 5 seats. Well, there's only 3 in the commissioner, so
Yeah.
a little bigger voice.
Yeah.
So I think, you don't have to call it
Yeah.
here, but when you do call it, definitely come on here. Um,
I'll definitely do that. I'll definitely agree to coming on here and chatting about it.
Great. I'm going to remind Stina of that too. So, Cena, you can come with her.
All right,
And,
sounds good.
yeah. Well, all right. We are going to go ahead and just give up on Snohomish because you know what? We don't have time for you. We've got kids.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go put my kiddos to bed.
All right. Well, I will chat with you all later, and thank you so much for getting on board. And
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for
I
having
think
us.
tomorrow the numbers are going to look better. So the
Okay.
numbers are going to look better.
Yeah.
So proud of both of you. Now,
All right.
just stay pumped.
All right, we'll do. Thank you, Richard.
All right.
Okay.
Talk to you guys later.
Have a good
Bye.
night.